All right, part two, the last part to this transmission venture. So we got a new adapter plate, new dowels, and you can see the old one. See how like I'll show you guys close up. You see how that's all nice and cracked and destroyed, and this is just ultimately not usable. We got a new flex plate over here compared to an old one, and you can see how nice and flat this is. This one, you can see this end was pushed out. So this was sucked in, this was pushed out, and ultimately sent into the adapter plate. This thing did not have much life left on it. Now, we do know why it happened, and I'm gonna go over a little backstory with you guys and the plan on what's gonna happen here, all right? So, this truck has about, let's just say 320-ish thousand miles on it. It tows boats for a living. Unfortunately, for us to go through and throw a torque converter at a 320,000 mile transmission right now does not make sense. Realistically, if you're gonna throw a torque converter at something that has that many miles, you should just replace the entire transmission. Unfortunately, that is not in the budget. This transmission still shifts smooth, still does what it needs to do, but say we go throw a torque converter in this thing and the transmission fails 20,000 miles down the road. As unfortunate as that would be if I throw all this back in and it does that, if he threw a new torque converter in it, the torque converter is basically ruined because all those shavings have now gone through the torque converter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get everything back together. We're gonna test fit everything, make sure everything's good, make sure that the torque converter seats in the transmission where it's supposed to, and then we will go ahead and torque everything down. Now, unfortunately, if this happens again, which that is one of the disclaimers that I'm giving on this job, if this happens again, next time there is no next time. You're going to be replacing the torque converter at a bare minimal, and preferably the entire transmission, because keep in mind it's a 68 RFE. It has a tune on it. Some parts have fallen off, so some of you guys have mentioned to me that when you tune these things, it ups the line pressure on the transmission on these, which makes sense. Balloon's a stock torque converter. So enough rambling. That's the route we're going to go. Right now, we're just replacing all the parts that failed. If the torque converter balloons again or the transmission fails, we'll replace that down the road. But this truck, he's trying to keep it as stock as possible with just the delete. I think he bought it with the S&B, so that's why that's on there. But realistically, if that wasn't on there, he'd just be running a stock filter. We did get this guy installed. This keeps the oil from going down into the turbo. It's an okay design. This is the one that I recommend if you don't want to go all out and just buy the catch can. I personally prefer the catch can, but you're talking several $100s versus this is $15. So this, 99% of my customers I recommend it for, but if you're the 1% of customers that wants to spend a lot more money, you can go ahead and do the catch can method, but this will work great. Let's start getting everything fitted up. All I'm waiting on is the camshaft seal in the back, and then we can start throwing everything back in, and we'll go from there. All right, boys, we got her in and torqued. So, just want to let you guys know, we do actually torque these. Check this out, ready? Bing! Bing! And how do I get that to stay torqued without the engine spinning over? Right there. 15 mil on the crank. Good to go. We got plenty of clearance. Starter's gonna get replaced at a later date. It's also gonna go grab another bolt because, so that bolt's in, the bottom bolt's in, we still need a top bolt yet. And I put blue Loctite on the starter bolts always, and red Loctite on these bad Larrys. Always. So torque converter seems all right. Since it's swelled, it's gone back down. Like I said, you guys already get the gist. I don't have to explain that again. Now we get the fun task also. Both dowels are in, and there's no dowels in the transmission, so this will just slide right over. We'll get everything bolted back up. I did get all of the bolts tight for the brackets here, and these fun brackets up here, those are all tightened up, but that's where we're at. We're gonna throw this bad Larry back on. Everything's all nice and clean. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys a couple of things, right? And I'm gonna let you guys be the decision makers. So I'm gonna drop these oh shit clips right here, and I'll show you this before I do, before I actually put them in. So first things first, you see this guy right here. I like to use every single clip I can. I'm actually going to be going through this harness and replacing things that were broken, like this clip here. I have these in stock. And this harness, if you can see, was actually rubbing against the front drive shaft. Now, I'm not 100% sure if these front drive shafts spin when the truck's moving. I know on the 3rd gens, it's a live front end, but I'm pretty sure with these that the front end doesn't spin. Yeah, you can see that. So I'm pretty sure this front drive shaft doesn't spin, so the only time that was becoming a problem was when he was using 4-wheel drive. And then you can see the clip way up there. You see that one? That was stuck between the bell housing and the adapter plate initially. Granted, if you guys see this torque converter, it fits, it spins. There's no binding, there's none of that, it spins. So I'm gonna let you guys decide what happened. I know I got about 50 some comments and hundreds of likes on those comments about the this ballooning, which I still think is what happened. That being pinched between there, I don't think would have hurt anything. The adapter plate was not installed wrong, I can tell you guys that. It is almost impossible to install these wrong because the dowels were in. The only way to install these things incorrectly is if you're missing the dowels. That's perfectly fine, I can get that. Don't do that. But if the dowels are in there, there is no way to actually install these adapter plates improperly. So as long as it lines up and everything, we're good. Or you're missing the seal on the back of the cam. That I did put a new one in there because the old one is right here. Can't reuse that. This is more plastic now than it is rubber. But there you go. So use all these clips. I'm gonna come in here and redo a couple of these because like this thing is just hanging. I don't know where they go, but we're gonna use them. Like this one here, this one was broken, like that one's missing, that one there goes somewhere, like maybe it goes here, it doesn't look like it. So gonna go through here, figure out where these go, and give them a home because I'm not just gonna let this hang. All right, we got her all back together. I know I skipped through a bunch of things. We got the bell bolts on, we got everything on. I've already fired it up once just to check, but we're gonna take this thing up to the wash bay, go pick up the driver. While we're at the wash bay, I'm gonna put the fender liners in, so that way we're not flinging water into, into up here. So we'll get it all cleaned up. Throw these liners back in. We got all the bolts back on it in the top. We got the transmission, pretty much everything. So all good. Now I'm gonna let you guys hear it. Now, this truck does have 320,000 miles on it. So what I want to let you guys know is that there is a disclaimer on this repair, right? So it doesn't make sense to throw that torque converter in it. So I told him, run it, be mindful that it happened. It can happen again. Run the truck until the transmission physically goes. This transmission, I don't think this one was ever serviced or serviced recently, so it's kind of like a fear to go through and actually, change all the fluid and the filters and this and that. So pretty much just gonna run this transmission until it blows and then buy a new one. Hopefully it's more than 50,000 miles down the road, but you never know. So get it up to the wash bay. We are gonna degrease pretty much everything, as I always do with a lot of my trucks, but especially in here because this thing had a pretty decent oil leak. And then we're gonna go grab the trailer for him and bring it up. But there you go, truck is done, runs good, and that's pretty much where we're at. So I'd like you guys to know as well that when I fix these things, I try to fix them as if I'm gonna have to fix them again down the road if something happens. So I don't rig things like I used to, like 5-6 years ago. These trucks are, like this customer here is a repeat guy. He brings all his trucks to me. And if I were to go through and rig some of the things like some of the previous mechanics did, I know I get to be the guy that fixes it down the road. So at the end of the day, you have to fix it correctly anyway. Otherwise, it's gonna come back and then it's gonna look bad and this and that. Not only that, I have a reputation to uphold. And all it takes is one bad customer to ruin a good reputation. So we're working on getting contracted stuff in now. If you guys know anybody that has a fleet or wants quality work, someone who actually cares about their customers, that'd be me. So we're going now. We're gonna put the fender liners back on. We just got everything washed up engine bay wise. I like to clean and degrease everything. I do it up at the wash bay. This truck should not be back for a while. Hopefully all is good. So if you guys don't know, this thing got a head gasket, an exhaust manifold. That chiming is so annoying. Stop. But yeah, this thing got all that stuff in. If you guys want to go back and watch the video, you can see there was a lot of things that went wrong with this thing. That check engine light's permanent, so just keep that in mind. I can't get rid of that. That is due to the tune file. So it's nothing I can do. I mean, I can, but it's not what it was in for. So we're gonna get this thing in here, drive really slowly so we don't fling anything up into the fender liners. I'm gonna give them a good washout quick, and I'll show you guys what this thing looks like. See, that's annoying. That's annoying. I turn that off on my trucks. I think I have it off on actually every vehicle I own. I've turned that off. All right, see how clean, see how fresh. Look at that. Now this shit up in here, this shit's stained as hell, but degreased the hell out of it, got it all cleaned up, just in time to go in the rain. Any of the hood marks, all of this is all clean. I make sure my customers have clean trucks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this thing up, go pick up the driver. That moves, so he'll be sitting there, and then his dog in the back. And then we gotta go pick up the trailer. I'll just back that in. We got to put a fender on that. Rag out of the way, glove out of the way. I know it's chaos in here, guys. And we're still working on this thing. That's been a shit show, but don't worry about that. I'll let you know. So let's go drive this thing. All right, so if you guys, I'm not gonna pull it apart now, but if you guys, we got it up the road and it wouldn't lock up. So, bulkhead problem. I pulled that off. There was so much stuff in there. I'll actually post the pictures on here so you can see it. I spent about an hour and a half digging out that sensor so that he didn't, or that big bulkhead, the what do you call it, the solenoid block, solenoid pack, whatever you want to call it, digging that out. And yeah, it was fun up under there. So got all that taken care of. Then after wiggling it a couple times, every time we'd wiggle it, it would change the problem. So I was finally able to take care of it. I got all of the plastic out, everything, because one guy who, I don't know if it was the guys who did the rear main, but one, it was covered in oil. There was so much oil down inside, and the plastic tabs on the side were both broken off. So we took care of all that, bottomed it out, and now the truck just runs and drives great. We took it up the road. It has lockup. Initially, it didn't have lockup. Even in 6th gear, it would drop back down to idle on the highway, and nothing was working. So now it works great. We're gonna finish up this trailer.
Everything costs money.
Yeah, I know. So this piece pulled that way. We're gonna get this pulled off, probably drill some new holes, pull this with the come along, get that out. Bent the frame a little bit. We're gonna try to bend that back, and then grab a bolt. Was there a bolt in the top initially? Looks like there's supposed to be. I don't, unless he snapped it, but that bolt held on, so I'm gonna come along and pull it that way. Shouldn't be. All right, wheel off. New bolt in here. Pulled that way. It actually worked. How badly bowed is it? So this one here, compared to that one, that one's got under a fist. I guess I can't compare it, but yeah, it's not hateful. It needs to go down a little bit. We'll see. We'll get the fender back on. All right, got that one right there installed. Last one, I'll get the wheels on, we'll torque them. All right, got the fender back on. Kind of, you see how the other side is, so basically drill the holes. You're good back here. I don't know about up there, but this whole setup's ready to go. I'm gonna pull it out for him, and then I'm gonna go hook up to the gooseneck and go put that up on the hill. We got three projects out this week. Check your stuff. I locked this down. Breakaway cable's a little long. I don't like that, but Did my best. Other than that, this thing is ready to go. But
Where's the logs?
exit 52, 52B, I think. There you go. Fenders are all on. I think we're going to be doing some rewiring on one of these trailers again, but like I said, repeat customer, bunch of different work. He brings me stuff all the time. So, like I said, if you guys bring me repeat work, I give discounts and whatnot on stuff like that too. So basically on this job, I only charged the labor, didn't charge shop supplies, didn't charge a bunch of other things. I think all said and done, I'm into this about 14 hours. 14, 15 hours is where I'm going to put it. I'm just going to charge them right at 14 so I can give them that discount. And then, yeah, like I said, I mean, treat your customers right, guys. Take care of their trucks. Make sure that, you know, they get something that's quality. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm pretty much done for the day. I actually came in today on Sunday to get this guy's truck done. I could have totally waited till Monday because I'm only open 9 to 5. But I do take care of my customers. And also, he was the one who found the part. And I said, that's perfectly fine. Not only that, I let him bring his own parts as well. So like I said, I work with people. If you know, he just spent $5,500 with me doing another job, it's like, I'll take care of you. You know what I mean? So he went and found his own parts, didn't charge any of this other stuff. I only charged strictly labor on this one. And that's pretty much where we're at. And I came in on a Sunday to finish it because he ordered the part and it wasn't here until Friday. So like I said, appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you guys want to see more shop stuff, we are going to start advertising a little bit more. I'd love to do more fabrication stuff, so if you guys have any of that, let me know, because I would love to do more fab work. See you in the next video. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for letting me do this as opposed to working an actual real 9 to 5 or going back and doing Hotshot, because let's be real here. Hotshot, I might do a couple runs here and there. I think he's going to hook me up with some boats.